started with a work session. Work session now come to order. Our first order of business is we have a guest today with Miss Katie Thomas. Miss Katie, come on up.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners, for letting me come talk to you. If you're trying to place me, I'm the same Katie Thomas who used to work for Extension, so I have been here before. But in my new realm, I work for Southeast Alabama Works. We're the Region 6 Workforce Council and your local WIOA board. So we handle all things workforce development. We're a nonprofit organization, and we collaborate with workforce development partners across the state, like AIDT, Department of Commerce, the community colleges, the Department of Labor, and K-12 education. So we started the State of the Workforce to increase awareness about our organization and the resources available, and also to garner support as we build meaningful partnerships. You can see from, I think, page 1, we cover the 10 most southeastern counties here, so we do represent the interests of Pike County along with 9 others. And this report is a guide to what we do in our community and a sample of the information and resources we can connect. For example, on page 4, we use Alabama Department of Labor data to show the unemployment compensation initial claims filed every week and compare that to the number of jobs available every week for a location. So we print out a graphic every week when these reports come out that show while Pike County might have had 189 initial unemployment claims this week, one search on Indeed and we found 237 open jobs. So it paints that picture of, yes, people are losing their jobs in some cases. We do have a high unemployment number compared to what we were a year ago, but the jobs are out there. So we quickly realized that there was a need there to connect those people and those resources. And we have extensive education partnerships, that's on page 6, with 43 different schools, including working relationships with Pike County schools and Troy City schools on various career tech things that they offer to their students. But our organization is founded in outreach, and on page 7, it needs to be updated a little since we printed this one. But our COVID response has largely repurposed our organization, and now we find ourselves connecting people. Again, we know people are looking for jobs, businesses are coming to us telling us they can't hire enough people, so we're trying to make those two pieces of the puzzle come together and serve our region better. In the last 30 days, our job posts and announcements for companies have reached an audience of over 38,000 people. So we have a pretty good spread with our message, and we've had really good success. If a company has open positions and the problem is they don't have any applicants, that is an easy way for our organization to step in and be able to assist them immediately, hopefully. So if you know of anyone in that situation, my information is on that back page, and we would love to work with them. If they don't have their own marketing department, that's something that we can help them with also. And again, nonprofit organization, free resource. We're just trying to make sure more people in our area can go to work, can improve their lives by getting a better job and starting on a career pathway. On page 9, it's another great example of the information we share. The Department of Treasury several months ago did this huge dump of information, and it was all the data on anyone who received a PPP loan in the amount of $150,000 to $2 million. So we sifted through all of that and pulled out the information pertinent to our region and put together this infographic on page 9. So you can see that in Pike County, the minimum amount received, assuming that everyone listed, because you don't get specific amounts, got the least amount in their bracket of each category. We had 52 businesses who received $18.65 million in PPP loans and saved 3,017 jobs here in Pike County. So that's the kind of information that we like to be able to filter through and present to you guys in a useful way. You know, a lot of times we know the state is really bad about dumping information, and it's just a lot of overwhelming information. So we try and sift through it and relay what information we can that would be useful. Finally, our partnership with local economic development organizations. It means so much to us that we're now a member of Grow Southeast, the Regional Alliance of Economic Developers. So rest assured that workforce development and economic development in Southeast Alabama are working together. If there's anything that we can do for your community, if you need businesses, hiring to be connected, please reach out to me. My contact information is on the back of that. Our organization is also funded through the state appropriations, and we greatly appreciate support from you guys and all of our elected officials for the regional workforce councils across the state. But right here in Pike County is where I have an office too. So we are invested in seeing good things happen here too. So if we can help you, please let me know, and I will be happy to answer any questions if that's appropriate.
Anybody got anything? Go ahead, Jeff.
We're glad to see you back.
Hey.
So you talked about unemployment numbers and job openings and Indeed. And tell everybody where they go to see that, because y'all do more than just print it. You've got that online, and you can go see that regularly.
So, yeah, we found that follow our Facebook page, Southeast Alabama Works, because we have found that our largest audience, I don't care what fancy marketing tricks we try, different platforms, newspaper, radio, we get the best response posting it on social media. It's just how people consume their information now, and so that's how we easily have housed everything. You can also see this information on our website, southeastalabamaworks.com. We have a distribution list where we send those reports out. If you're interested in seeing those numbers as they come out, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to add you to that distribution list.
If you've got a business that's hunting employees, and you said, hey, we'll fill in the gap for you, how do you go about doing that? Because a lot of them use Indeed, so you physically be the one that would kind of...
Yeah, if we, for example, we had a business right here in Pike County. He was desperate for about 12 people, and they just couldn't find anyone to apply. Sometimes when we go through official marketing streams with big companies, everything gets bogged down. So if they'll let us, we create them a professionally marketed job announcement and then start sharing that across our social media platforms. That one for this company in Pike County within 24 hours had reached over 8,900 people. So, it's a good way for us to blast that info out quickly. All they have to do is call me and say, this is what we've got. It doesn't take us long to throw something together. They can approve it, and hopefully we can get them some people coming in the door, dropping off applications by the end of the week.
Anybody else? Katie, thank you for being here. It's good to see you again.
Good to see y'all too. Thank you.
Engineer report.
Good afternoon. We've got a couple of items under new business and a few under current business, but under new business, I invite you to turn to the monthly project update. If you will, in your agenda package. I just wanted to point out one project category there to, if you look on, let me find it. Now, I'm having trouble finding it. Apologize.
First item, micro accounts payable.
Here we go. Yes, sir. If you look on page 1 of your project update, it's actually under the category of county funded resurfacing. Sorry, I lost my place there for a minute. If you look at that last bullet point there, the Rebuild Alabama Act annual grant program, if you'll remember, we were awarded a grant for the last fiscal year program under that. And that grant is to help resurface County Road 7707 from Lockheed Martin basically up to China Road. That work has not been done yet, but it is under contract. And so according to the rules of the program, we can apply for another grant as long as that one's under contract. So what I would like to do there is listed there. We have a bit of a traffic flow problem at Goshen Elementary School. There are 2 lanes there, it's a 2-lane road, and school traffic backs up in both directions, from Little Oak Road, and that way, we did extend the deceleration lane, turning lane, to turn into the campus. We did that a few years back. But, I think I'm told, I don't know about this year with the pandemic, with, some students doing the virtual learning, but before that, I'm told that the traffic backs up out into the through lanes in that direction, but also in the other direction coming from Goshen, there's nowhere, when that traffic is waiting to turn in, there's nowhere for them to go, there's no storage there, so sometimes they get off on the shoulder, and I've had reports of people, driving fast and all that, so.
There've been some wrecks during
Right.
school, drop off and pick up time, because
Right.
of some of those issues.
Yeah, so this is something that we've been trying to locate some funding for a while to figure out, to help us with a solution there. But what we'd like to do is widen that out to 3 lanes and just provide a center turning lane there going to the campus for those people, for those vehicles to sit in there. So anyway, if there's no objection from the commission, we're going to apply for a project to do that under this program for this fiscal year. And the applications are due by the end of November, so.
Is that a county road?
Yes, sir, it is. County Road 2243.
If you come up from the barn part, there's a big curve right there too.
Right, that's right. The school is in a curve. And I don't think this requires any action from y'all tonight. It's just wanted to let you know that's what we were going to apply for, unless y'all tell us otherwise. So, and moving on to our next item of new business is equipment. We brought, actually in your agenda package, there's a financing proposal there for the Mower Max boom mower. If you remember, that's in the budget to be paid, 1/2 out of citizens and gas tax, and the other half is to be financed. And so that document is the next page after our monthly project update. And that will require your approval. Like I say, it's under new business because we didn't have equipment listed before, but it's technically not new, it's actually in the budget. So we just need approval for the financing there. And then moving down to current business, I handed out, under the item of industrial access project, I handed out 2 proposed agreements between the county and ALDOT. You should have 2 of them there. The top one is for the new road at Rex Lumber, and the other is for the federal aid project to resurface County Road 7714, also known as Old 231. What they're doing there, if you remember, we had one industrial access grant that was to be used on both projects, but we had to do those under 2 separate contracts because we also used federal aid on the resurfacing part of it. So we underran the new road, and we wanted to be able to move that extra money that wasn't used over to the other project so that we could use it. And the other one hasn't been closed out yet, so we don't know what the final cost is going to be. That ALDOT is doing the accounting, but either way, that will be available to be used on that project so that we don't just lose it. So that's what this is. This is just like a correction to those agreements. And then lastly, under personnel, we have a memo in your agenda package recommending some hires for some positions that we've been advertising. And just as a reminder, we still do have a couple of operator positions that are open that we are currently advertising for, so we'll probably be back at your next commission meeting with recommendations for those as well.
What else, Mr. Russell?
That's all we had.
Questions? Comments?
7749, where we at on it?
Still haven't heard from ADECA. We're hoping, in the next few weeks, we hope to hear back. We were hoping we'd hear something in October,
heard anything on time on our bridge inspection thing?
No, the last time we talked to them, they said that we were next on the list, but they haven't gotten here yet, so,
I think that was what y'all told me Friday, that I heard.
no.
Anything else? Thank you, boss.
Thank you.
EMA?
Not sure if y'all want me to get it or not. I'm not very good this week, so, anyway, two items, we're continuing to work on the public assistance portion for Tropical Storm Sally. I'm also working on this portion of it. We did the declaration, so we're working on that. We're also going to look at the hazard mitigation part, try to see if there's some issues that we can prevent from happening again. So that's an ongoing type project. It's open. The bad news is we've got another tropical storm heading our way. Right now, based on those forecasts, we're in early Thursday morning event this week, potential for tropical storm type winds, 2 to 5 inches of rain. So we will continue to monitor it. We will continue to send out some updates. We'll probably another update come out tonight and one early tomorrow morning. So we'll get through one before we move to the next one. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And fortunately, COVID's beginning to slow down a little bit, and hopefully we won't see an increase or pickup. We are still seeing some cases, but not like we were.
Anybody got any questions? Thank you, Mr. Harrison. The attorney report, Alan.
The only item I have is there was a request that I was contacted about middle of last week, I guess, to go into executive session for good name of character, and it was explained what it was about, so it meets that criteria.
Go ahead.
Mr. Jones, can I get with you about that, then we might not have to go into the conversation.
Okay. Will do.
Okay, does any commissioner have anything to report on at this time? Okay, administrative report, please.
Have a couple extra things. Come up. Okay, the first item under my report is there's a memo in your package for contract labor for the new document service program. As you all know, we had the 2 interns from Troy University that are working for us, and they work for us during their semesters at school, which leaves them open during like this Christmas and fall the Thanksgiving break that they'll have from school. Well, because we're doing this new document service program that we're doing, it's going to be, to make it worth the money we're paying for it, we need as much information put into it as possible. And so I wanted to get y'all, see how y'all felt about Alan and I getting together on doing some kind of contract labor agreement with the 2 gentlemen that are working in the office for working during those times. It would, to get reimbursement through the CARES Act money, they would need to be contract labor, and they wouldn't be able to just go on our payroll. And so I wanted to talk to y'all about that, and we can talk about it. We've still got some time in their semester, and Alan and I can get together, if that's okay with y'all, on coming up with a contract for their employment during that time to scan documents into the system.
What it works out to be is we get some free help and they still get paid.
Yes. It's good for both parties.
It is.
So, if y'all are okay with that, Alan, I'll just get with him on getting the contract together and bring it to the next commission.
Okay, great.
The second item is telephone and internet contract. It's time for us to update that. I did notice as I was coming in here tonight, this is not going to be all of the contracts that we need to update. This is from where we've changed over to the new phone system where we're all connected now to all of our county buildings through our phones and internet. We only got the quote on one of them. We didn't get it on all of the separate bills for the different buildings. So that's in there, but I'd like to bring some more information to you to the next commission meeting before we take any action on that. The third item, if y'all have any questions on that, is contract for accounting services. This is kind of like how Russell Oliver had. This was in the budget. This is what we chose to start doing when we decided not to fill our finance officer's position. So it's the same contract as last year. It's just updated for this year, and so we can just let it fall forward, or y'all can go ahead and vote on it tonight for this part of the budget. That's up to y'all, what you want to do on that. And it's the same price, up to amount like it was last year. The fourth item is the Data Works Plus agreement. This is actually from the Sheriff's Department. This is the contract for their software and hardware that they use down at the jail. And it's just up for renewal. It gets renewed once a year. So this is already included in the budget too, if you wanted to take action on that. I don't have on there, this morning we get an email, I think all of you do too, from ACCA. We get like, it used to be called the top 5. It's not really called that anymore, but it's a kind of just an overall of things to be thinking about as a county commission. Included in there was something that we've never done before. I don't recall ever doing it, but there's a holiday resolution. And they sent a copy of it. This is something y'all normally, and we've had as far back as I can remember, we've approved our holiday schedule along with our budget. It stated in there that we actually needed to do a resolution, and it didn't matter, it wasn't a cutoff date for the year, but I have a copy of it that instead of getting y'all to approve it tonight, I was just gonna bring that and along with a copy of the approved holiday schedule that you do with your budget to the next commission meeting. There's no hurry on that. It's just something I didn't realize that we probably should have been doing and we haven't been doing.
Okay.
But there'd be no change, it'd be the same one that you all adopted with our budget. If you don't have any questions under the new business, we'll move to current business. Under current business, the item number 7, the credit card acceptance, we finally have an updated resolution that Alan, the attorneys, worked on along with working with Tammy Shelley with the Department of Examiners. They're both happy with it, and this is something that we'll need to adopt. We thought we had it right, but it didn't have exactly the fees lined out, and we just did it how both offices are doing their fees at the current time. No changes. They do it a little bit differently in each office, so it kind of had to be laid out a little different for each, but the resolution includes all of those in there. So we just need to adopt that tonight. Item number 8 is the vacation of a portion of County Road 1159. I believe we have everything now. We've just got to do notice for the public hearing. Is that correct?
It's being published.
Being published, yeah.
Right.
So that, but everything's in, so they'll be ready to vote on. The meeting is at the 23rd of November, is when I'll be on the public hearing for our commission meeting that night. The item number 10 is the RC&D grant. We had to hunt down, we got some help from Representative to hunt down our approval paperwork. We finally got a copy of it today, had a wrong date. They got it changed to the right date for us, and so I do have that. They have approved a $37,000 grant in community development funds for use at the Terrell Community Center. And this will be to repave the parking lot and pave a driveway to what would be a fire department building.
It's also prep for the storm shelter.
Yeah, and the prep for the storm shelter, yeah.
Okay.
So we just need approval on that to move forward on it. The next item, the ABC license transfer, I still don't have, I know that they ran this in the paper, but I don't have the affidavit, and we have to have that affidavit showing that it's been run. I saw they brought by a copy of the bill, but not the actual running that they have to have stamped and signed or they have anything. So we can't do anything on that tonight. Item number 12 is a surplus request from the Sheriff's Department. This is on your last agenda. And I think it's for 2 non-working generators, yes. So that's all I have as far as current business. I do want to remind y'all that the next scheduled meeting would be November the 9th, but because of the election, we will have to cancel that meeting, and we will have to meet on November the 11th. And this will be the day that the swearing in, and we'll have our first November meeting of the month. We just need to decide on a time so that we can post it, because it is on a Wednesday.
If all of us have to be sworn in that day, that's gonna take a little time, so. I wonder if we ought to just have it at 5:15 like we always do, and just.
I mean, that's fine. It is a county holiday. It's a federal holiday. It's Veterans Day, but you have no choice. You have to meet It's set by a number of days after the election, so we have to meet on that day.
Or before.
No, no,
That day.
it has to be that day.
You cannot meet before that day, you have to wait those 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I believe the swearing in is up to you. You can go and do it before you come here, you can do it here, that's totally up to all of, I mean, everybody that's elected, that's up to y'all, which I'll do for that.
Okay. If there's not gonna be that many swearing-ins done during the meeting, then we could have a 1 o'clock meeting, if that's all right with everybody. And if there's gonna be several that wanna bring family and have something like that, like we do a lot, then there would need to be a later meeting, so that would be up to the commission.
Due to the COVID, we might not want to run it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if that be the case, then we can do our own swearing in on our own convenience
Right.
and have a 1 o'clock meeting.
And I'll get with, the probate judge and make sure y'all all have the correct paperwork and everything that you'll need for the swearing in that has to be, turned in and recorded through their office.
And that has to be done on the 11th.
It has to be that many days after the election.
But if we don't have the meeting at 5, all 6 of us will have to go to his office on the 11th. Is that what you're saying?
You may want to this week. Like that, you don't have to have it, but you can have whoever you want to this week again. You can, that's totally up to each of you for us to who you get to swear you in. So, but you do have to meet, it's going out on that, you have to meet that. And it will be a regular meeting, so it will be the first meeting in November where chairman, vice chairman, you set your meeting schedule, all of those things will be done in that meeting.
If it's a regular meeting, I want to be able to have it.
I have to take off work the whole entire afternoon. And the work session has
Okay.
been-
Then at the regular meeting, we will state that the meeting will be at 5:15, and if we need to vote on it, we vote on it.
And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Questions for the administrator? Okay, thank you. Does anything else need to come before the commission at this time? Any commissioner have anything to add? Mr. Coe?
I forgot, we had our first ACCA legislative committee meeting. So they're doing a little different, obviously, because of COVID, we didn't go together in Montgomery, and they broke everything down into committees. So my committee was the Transportation and Land Use Committee, so there's a few things that we're looking at, and we're just working on, getting the platform tweaked and back together for the December, for the big meeting that I always have in December, so really nothing, at least in front of that committee, there's really nothing that was, earth shattering. A lot of things that have already been kind of working on and carrying on for several years. So if there's any questions on that, y'all just bring them to me, or anything I need to bring up, but just give you a little update on that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, the Potter County Commission's work session is now closed, and we will convene at 6 p.m. for the regular meeting.
Yeah, good to see you. Always happy to come talk and let people know what we do.
Yeah.
Especially if we can help someone. I appreciate it.
What's going on,
Good weekend.
Good job.
Yeah,
that's why I don't go. It's too much time.
yeah, that's two we had happen back again, two of got hurt, so. Open kickoff.
You're at the.
I know.
Then I'm watching.
One on the way.
No. I'm at the 2:30 line down for Walmart. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I was.
Where y'all were, mine was the last one.